Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Mountain Blade Bannerlord Warhammer Fantasy conversion mod video. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So the reason why this is an exciting video is because all the beta footage that I'm going to be showing off in this video will be playable by you tomorrow. That's right, the Old Realms mod Warhammer Fantasy conversion for Bannerlord will be playable tomorrow in a beta form, where there are some places that you'll be able to explore like Sylvania, the Moot, and even Averland. It's not a lot of stuff, but keep in mind that this is a colossal mod and it's still very much a work in progress. So everything that you see right now is still very much beta, and keep in mind that the game can crash every now and then, but hey, that's expected from something that's in development. What you're seeing right now is the loading screen, which is pretty dark. It's got that Warhammer Fantasy feel to it, and really, it doesn't have to give that much. All you need to do is enter the old world and you can begin. So let's just do that, shall we? So when you're looking to create a new character, you have two choices of cultures: the Empire of Man, which is of course Sigmar's empire, and the Vampire Counts in Sylvania. Right now, these are the two only playable cultures or factions until some other stuff arrives, and I'm not too sure if there's any given ETA date at the moment for anything else, though mind you, you can get a lot done. The map is absolutely massive as it is, and you're going to be able to explore quite a lot of different territories and try out a lot of different playstyles too. I don't believe anything's changed baseline when you're creating a character for the Empire of Man as to standard vanilla Bannerlord, but then again, humans and humans, you know, not much really needs to change there. They may have added some hairstyles or something, maybe some facial hair, but I'll be very honest with you, in most cases, I just have a generic character, so I don't really go around doing customization a lot. Things start to change when you start going through your origin. So here, when you choose your family's background, you have the choice of Imperial Nobility, Imperial Sergeant, Thieves, Cultists, or Wine Merchants. Now, as this goes, you'll be able to get some new points, and it will focus around all your stats to the left-hand side of the screen. This is very much like vanilla Bannerlord, but keep in mind that obviously you're going to have to pay close attention to know where everything is going, so you can get your specific build done to your specifications. After you've picked your family's background, then you can start going throughout your teenage years, where you could have enlisted in the militia, you could have been a merchant's assistant, a blacksmith's apprentice, an acolyte of Sigmar, or an engineering student. Again, this focuses around your stats on the left-hand side of the screen, so keep an eye when you're doing that. The big change itself then comes in the final section. Also, once again, keep in mind this is specifically for the Empire of Man culture. The final choice is your starting profession: Free Company Militiaman, Bright Order Initiate, Warrior Priest Acolyte, Trainee Templar, or Merchant. Keep in mind the following things here. This obviously affects your loadout, as this is the last thing that gives you all your starting equipment and so on, so the stuff that you've seen in the first two has no effect barring stats on your final choice. And if you want to use magic, then you've got to start off as the Bright Order Initiate. It's just how it is, and this is also a very similar thing with the vampires, which we'll check out in just a second, but it's just very important for you to know because, you know, if you want to start off with magic and play around with that, you're going to need to check this out. You'll also notice your culture bonus here for the Empire of Man. Being in an army brings 25% more influence, 20% less garrison troop wage, and finally, village hearths increase by 20% less. That doesn't make any sense to me, but yeah, we'll go with it. These will be very similar, if not right on carbon copies, to some of the stuff in the vanilla Bannerlord, and it's just how it is at the moment. Remember, again, beta. It's important to stress out that this is a beta. Not even that, it's probably more like an alpha. From there, you'll pretty much play like Bannerlord, which is obviously what this mod is a conversion for. So you'll pick your family name, and then you'll start working on a banner, so you can then have your family colors and so on, and then just go out into the real world. Well, Warhammer Fantasy world, that is, of course. And here we have it. You go into game from there and just play as you would Bannerlord. If you've never played Bannerlord before, don't you worry, it's actually not that difficult to get used to, but everything is just really easy. You start off with your army, you have to move around to different settlements, recruit and so on. What you will notice here is the map is absolutely massive. Keep in mind we're only looking at a very small portion of the Warhammer Fantasy world, and you know, you can see Averheim, you can see Castle Drakenhof. It is huge. There are so many things to look around come from, and there's loads of enemies to fight, and you're going to be able to move around and just check a lot of stuff. Keep in mind, obviously, too, that, well, there are a few issues here. Some loading screens themselves can take an absolute age, and yeah, there can be some crash issues too. Again, I'm stressing the fact that this is a beta, so if you're expecting no crashes, you've come to the wrong place. Keep in mind, this is also Bannerlord, which does crash every now and then too, but you're perfectly fine. Honestly, you can tell the amount of love that's been put into this mod, and it's very, very clear. Now, if you were curious as how to get magic if you decided to go with the vampire counts, you'd need to pick Vampiric Nobility or Novice Necromancer, as the rest are, of course, humans. I'm not sure if there's a way to eventually make you into a Necromancer or into a vampire through the other different professions, but at the moment it's still a beta, so things need to be ironed out. The Necromancer one is actually really fun. You get to summon in skeletons. I'm going to show that in just a bit. So I'm playing here as a Novice Necromancer as I wanted to have a little bit of fun. It turns out that you start off with a decently sized army. Around 20 skeletons will be in your force as soon as you try to recruit something else. So I was able to recruit one Sylvanian recruit, and then afterwards I waited. It wasn't long, I just wanted the enemies to move away. So if you notice on screen, there's some white numbers which are those of neutral factions to you, and some red numbers which are loads of different bandits and so on. I'm not sure if this is a vanilla issue mixing up with the mod, but there were a lot of enemy factions and they were pretty well numbered. So I did have some issues certain times where I would start a game and I would already be fighting against an army of like 12, 13, or even 14 different bandits, where it was just myself. As the Necromancer, it's a bit easier because obviously you have a bit of an army with you already. So this is my force of 22, including myself, versus 32 different bandits. They all come from different armies and so on, and they're teaming up against me. Now, I do want to point out here that the load times when you first start loading into the game, they can take some time. I believe that I was loading into this battle, which was my first battle after just restarting the game, for about a minute or two, which is really strange because obviously I have a very powerful PC, but I'm assuming that it's just trying to get everything loaded up into the game itself because the mod itself is quite large. Just the little section which is playable is what, 6 or close to 7 gigabytes, so it's quite large as it is. I can only imagine how massive this is going to be by the end of the mod's life cycle. Something really cool here is at the end of battles, if you're playing as a Necromancer, and I'm assuming a vampire might have this ability too, you'll be able to resurrect enemies as animated skeletons. You can see that after that battle, I had one troop raised from the dead, which is absolutely awesome because that means that you'll keep on being able to replenish your forces without a problem if you just keep getting into fights. I wonder how this is going to work for higher tier units in the future, but we're going to have to wait and see because I haven't really had access to this mod for a long time. We got a preview build, but I had to download it later than the rest of my peers as I was busy with personal matters. Well, celebrating. Battle-wise, it's pretty much Bannerlord, which is a good thing, and it's pretty simple to navigate, so if you've never played before you won't have an issue. Just keep in mind that the physics itself with fighting can be a bit difficult if you're not really used to these types of games, but don't you worry, just stay back with an archer and you're pretty much golden. Or if you have some magic like I have here, you'll be able to summon up some units to add for some extra defense. They are low tier units, I'm not sure if these spells can be upgraded, but it isn't too bad overall. 30-second cooldown after summoning a decent number of skeletons isn't too bad. That's an extra number that you can have with you. Honestly, it's pretty good. With regards to other spells, all you'll have to do is go to a library. Keep in mind that they're fairly expensive. I mean, 50,000 is a lot of money, at the very beginning at least. Later on, it's pretty much like fool's change, but you're not going to be able to get this too soon. Mind you, I've seen some of these spells and they are freaking good. Honestly, the fact that we haven't had a Warhammer game officially done in something like this style is absolutely mind-boggling. But then again, let's be honest, it's usually the case that studios will screw it up somehow, whereas modders always try to keep as close to the lore as possible or in theme as possible. And honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with this mod. Were it not so late, I would be streaming straight after releasing this video, but I've got some work to do, and then I'll probably play this some more because I'm honestly having a lot of fun. I want to see what I can do, and there'll probably be some more more videos regarding this too, because it's honestly very, very amazing. Now, like I said, if you own Bannerlord, tomorrow you'll be able to play this yourself, which is super cool, as you'll be able to experience the beta and possibly give some feedback, I think. I'm not too sure how that's going to work, but it's honestly really, really great, and I would suggest you try it. If you've not played Bannerlord before and you want to get interested in this, I would suggest getting Bannerlord anyway. It's a fun game. It's honestly got a lot of different things that you can do in it, and the Warhammer mod just makes it all the better, to be honest. I'm just being very honest with you here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, or if you want any messages sent over to the devs and so on, because yeah, we have decent communication. It's actually really, really nice. They're very passionate about their project, and I'm honestly really enjoying playing this. I can't wait for you guys to try it out and see it for yourselves. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel has been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.